Hey guys, welcome back to my vlog. This is not a weekly vlog, this is a what I eat in a day, and I needed to start this vlog with like a disclaimer and a little bit of an intro. If you're new here, my name is Tyree. I'm an online health and fitness coach, a bikini athlete, and a mom. I am currently 4 weeks post show. So I'm very much in sort of the mid-ish stages of my reverse diet phase. And as we know, reverse dieting can be a little bit tricky. If you don't know what reverse dieting is essentially rebuilding your metabolism after a period of being in a calorie deficit and losing, losing body fat. When we are reversing out of comp prep and we are crazy lean and depleted, it's a lot harder than what it is if it's just a lifestyle cut, because our body's physiological responses are kicking in. We're essentially like out of whack, our hunger hormones are dysregulated, we're in a low state of energy availability, and it's just a lot of different layers to navigate. When I recorded this video, I had the best intentions. I used all of the tools that I have used successfully in the past, reverse dieting and currently reverse dieting, and come the end of the day, I absolutely fucked up. Like by not tens of thousands, but thousands of calories. And this wasn't from physical hunger. It wasn't from lack of structure. It was actually an emotional thing, emotional response to some emotions that I had been feeling. Also expectations that I had set and sort of glorified across the whole entire week. And also dissatisfaction from my meals in terms of palatability. So it wasn't actually because I was so physically hungry, I was so mentally unsatisfied, and I wasn't getting that satisfaction from anything that I ate that day, and also an emotional response to some things that I had been feeling across the week that just sort of like piled up and caused a little bit of agitation. And also come the back end of the day, it was also the lack of structure. So there was a lot of different layers. I still want to share the video because that is literally how I navigate things when I'm eating out, and it's still very valid. It's just the case that on this particular day, it was not a good day for me come the end of the day. I wasn't as satiated as what I thought I would be, and things didn't go to plan. And so one of the things is that we were originally going to go for a big hike and get a Ferg burger. But what happened was, and I've been looking forward to having a Ferg burger for months, and it was my decision to not get a Ferg burger, but it's not just about the food, it's also about the whole experience. So when we had made the plans on this particular day, we were going to go for a big hike. The weather had just been nice the day before. We had a couple of days nice weather, and when you go for a big hike with your friend and then you come and you get your reward, this is why I actually say to my clients, try not to use food as a reward, because this is actually what can happen. And I can identify I had just done what I told my clients not to do. Don't use food as a reward because this can happen. So it's a whole experience, and it was raining, it was miserable, it was grey, which affects your mood anyways. And when I was driving into town, I noticed that I was feeling a little bit snacky, because when you are banking calories to have a meal out, restaurant food, takeaway food is always so dense in calories and pretty low volume. So I'm used to eating a lot of big meals that are lower calorie but high fiber, high protein, lots of plants. And for me, this is the only way that works, because I am a very hungry person in general. Typically, if I'm not eating in a particular way, in a particular structure, I've always struggled managing my hunger signals. And not just physical hunger, but also just mental hunger and mental satiation from my meals. So for me, I need an abundance of plants, and this is what works for me. Not everyone's cup of tea, but that is what works for me. So making that compromise of having smaller meals to make room for this big calorie dense meal in the middle of the day is really hard, especially because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So by the time it's midday, it literally feels like my dinner time. So I was driving in the car. I already had missed my morning snack because I was banking these calories for my meal, and I think I had something small, and I was agitated. it was raining. Then I was like, you know what, let's just get something healthier. I don't want to stand outside in a big line. And so we did. And we went and we got a coffee. The first coffee that we had was absolute shite. And that ruined my experience because before, like 2 days prior or something, we had an incredible coffee and it was just an incredible experience and it was the highlight of my week. So I was disappointed from that, and also because I was like pretty agitated anyways. And then we went and we got food, and the food was good, but it didn't quite mentally satiate me. Like, because we didn't go for the hike, we didn't do the fun things that we set out to do, and I just felt like I ate a really healthy meal, but it would have been a lot of calories. Came home later in the day and I had like hyped up this Ninja Creamy that I had made, and I was so excited to have. Made it, did not hit. Like, it was not what I had made it to be. And then Henry had these cookies, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to have a cookie with him. I'm going to allow myself to have it, and we're going to have this nice family evening, and we can sit at home and we can watch TV and stuff. And I was really excited to spend time with him because like I said, I've been solo parenting a lot recently. So I was just really excited to be with him and be at home as a family. And then he was working all evening, like on the phone, replying to emails, stressing, work, just business owner things. And so I was like waiting, way past my bedtime, like way past my eating time, which again, I really rely on structure, and he eats really late. And he made a pizza, he made chips, and it smelled really good, and it just sent me, like I was like, fuck it, like I just feel so agitated, so annoyed. I was so emotionally like just not there. And yeah, I ate so much food, I can't even tell you. I had like a protein bar trying to satiate myself, and it just sent me into a spiral. Then I had another one, and then I was like, I don't even want this, I want to have my cookie. Then I had the cookie, and then he was eating the pizza and chips, and I was like, I want to have something hot and hearty. And then I made like 2 spaghetti toasties and chips and fuck knows what else. Like, you kind of like black out because you're just like so impulsive that like you need to have it all at once. And this is something that has happened to me a lot growing up. And when I say that have always struggled with my relationship with food and overeating, like this is the type of behaviors that like I have worked so hard to get rid of. So this is why I get so upset and so frustrated when these things do happen, because to me, like, this is what I've worked so hard to break free from. And I think a lot of us bikini girls, we experience this, and it's not the food or the weight gain that upsets us, it's the fact that we have had to break up with that version of ourselves in order to get to stage and to even be on this journey. And another thing that I say to my clients as well is like, we get mixed like emotions about this experience, because again, our body is so depleted that we sort of identify our actions with ourselves, but there is an element also of like your body fighting back and your body being so depleted that it is sending you these signals and doing anything that it can to prompt you to eat, because essentially you're so malnourished. So like there's a lot of different layers to it, and actually trying to break it down and think about it reasonably can be really hard. So this is why I'm sharing this so transparently, and it's important to put at the start of the video, because I'm like, it's that easy in my video. And like, yes, it can be that easy, but also equally we can have these downfalls, and we're all human. Like, I'm not saying that if you're in comp prep, you're the only person that's going to experience this. I've experienced this so much in my past of just trying to be on my health and fitness journey and falling into this trap over and over and over, and it's fucking exhausting. So come the next day, I was like, cool, fresh start. We also had a meal planned out the next day as well, and it was the first time that we'd spent time as a family in weeks. So we had a meal out, and again had to bank all these fucking calories for this meal that like did not even satiate me, and I was so agitated again. And I felt so restricted. I literally had fuck all calories left at the end of the day. All I could fit in was a yogurt if I was being adherent. And I was like, I can't just have a yogurt. It's not going to satiate me. So again, I just went into fuck it mode. I was like, I want to have this. I want to have that. I want to have this. And I just had to sit with myself for a second and go, you know what? Like, just fucking let it go for 2 days. Like, I have not given myself permission really to have what I want to eat for like multiple days. Hi, babe.
Can I have some toast?
You want some toast?
Yeah.
yeah. I just had to move you guys. Okay, hold on. We're listening to Elsa. We went out for dinner the next day, and same thing. Sorry, it was lunch. And same thing. Like, I was like, I literally have no room to say yes to anything. Like, I feel so restricted. And again, it wasn't the hunger. It was just more like we went for hot chocolate and we went to the chocolate shop, and like I wanted to sit there with my family and say yes to things. And it's hard, like when you're trying to follow calories and you don't have a big calorie budget, etc. Like, it is food when you're eating out just makes it so hard to manage fitting within those protocols. And that's why so many people also stay stuck for so long, and that's why I stay stuck for so long, is I just didn't have that awareness that I do have now. And sometimes I wish I didn't have that awareness, because then it would be easier to let go and, like, you know, it's not a big deal, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's really challenging, really challenging to navigate. Yeah, and so I ended up coming home, and that was when I had to have that conversation with myself of just like, let it be, give yourself permission. You've not given yourself permission. Like, I haven't had a week off not tracking, or like I've had, the max I had was like 2 days, and to be honest, I didn't even really eat the things or have any experiences that I wanted to enjoy. It was just like, it was easier to navigate, whereas this was like Amara's singing Frozen in the background. Yeah, so like I just wanted to be with my family. I wanted to say yes, and because I kept trying to restrict myself and say like, no, you shouldn't do this, like this is going to ruin your reverse, you've worked so hard for it, it just added to the noise and made it worse, essentially. So what I did, and what anyone should do in the situation, is like, rather than focusing on what you didn't do, focus like, okay, moving into the new week, what can I do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? And there was a couple of things that like I did during that week that were not serving me. One being too much variety across my meals. Like, I was changing my meals, even though I had pre-logged them, I was changing them up all the time and using different things, which feeds the food focus, because you're spending more time on MyFitnessPal. Ultimately, too much variety creates too much room for error. So when you're feeling like overwhelmed and like you've stuffed up, it's better to go back to basics and consistency. So what I did from there onwards is like, okay, I'm prepping my food for 7 fucking days worth of food this week. And I know that personally works amazing for me, because I don't think about food. I just know exactly what I'm having, when I'm having it. Another thing, so I meal prepped all of my lunches, all of my dinners, froze them, and I'll show you guys as well. So then today I haven't even had to think about food, because I'm like, I know exactly what I'm having. It's all prepped. I just grab it out, heat it up, good to go. It's not taking up any space in my head, and no time sitting on MyFitnessPal thinking about like, oh, what can I fit into my macros today? And of course the odd occasion is absolutely fine, but I was literally doing it every day, and it's just exhausting. So I had that tracking fatigue going on anyways, and then feeling restricted because I can't fit all the shit that I want to fit in to my macros all the time. So remove that and just let it go. Like Amara's saying in the background, let it go. Like, you cannot move forward taking positive action if you're just dwelling on all the shit things or all the shit choices that you made. Like, I had an incredible week last week. I had an incredible week socially, adherence wise. Up until that point, I enjoyed all my training, hit PBs, energy's good, sleep's improving. I honestly had an incredible week, and I remember thinking in the week like, wow, I have had the best week across all aspects. And then something like the weekend, you forget and you just think about how shit you feel. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a quiet spot to finish the rest of this intro. Sorry, it's a little bit long. But what was I saying? I can't even remember what I was saying now. But essentially, like, you just have to let it go, because otherwise it's just going to transfer into the rest of your week. Like, the hardest part is that when you are so depleted and you are a low body fat percentage, you can see so much change overnight. And it's the same principle as when we're carbing up, essentially. Like, you can make crazy change just by how many carbs you're intaking from the night before show to the day of show, you know? Like, you can change your physique wildly. And that's essentially the same thing when we overindulge and overeat in a reverse phase, because our body is so low body fat, we can see that change, and that can really fuck with your head because you just see it as like body fat. Your waist gets thicker, your body gets bloated, you feel uncomfortable, and it's really hard mentally to deal with. Whereas when you're at a healthy body fat percentage, the change, like, yeah, sure, you might feel a little bit bloated, but the physical change and the inflammation that you experience isn't as easy to identify. So it can really, really screw with your head. And just remember as well, like, it just takes time. Like, you're not going to experience this all of the time, and when we are so depleted as well, like, it is more likely to happen than when you're at healthy maintenance calories, in a healthy routine, in a sustainable physique. Like, I'm only 800 grams up from my average stage week weight, which is too lean. Like, I don't even have my menstrual cycle back yet, and my goal weight is sort of around 56 kilos maintenance at least. And that's going to be a push for me. Like, I know that's going to be a push for me. So, like, you just have to remind yourself that if it's not sustainable, if it's a nightmare to maintain, like, it's not your dream physique. And we get so attached to it as well. But, like, if you can't have a cookie or a meal out or have a day not tracking, like, that is not going to be sustainable for you long term. Like, yes, it serves a purpose when you have an end goal in mind, but if you have to be that strict and rigid and you have no room for error, essentially like we do when we're coming out of a comp prep, it feels like you have to let it go, because it's not going to be sustainable or healthy for you long term anyways. Like, no one wants to be doing shit tons of cardio, eating fuck all food, and worrying about a fucking cookie like that you can't eat that you really want to have, or like not being able to have a meal out with your family every so often without gaining 2 kilos, like, literally. And this is the mad thing about when you are so depleted, is like that scale can jump significantly. Like, I weighed nearly 2 kilos more the following morning after my first blowout. I haven't weighed myself today because I'm like, you know what, I'm actually not going to weigh myself for the week, not because I'm being avoidant, but because I want to focus on just my habits and actually the way that I feel, rather than looking at the data and using that to validate how well I'm doing with my reverse. Like, I don't care so much about my physique. Like, if I gained weight and I was doing everything right and feeling good, like, I wouldn't care. But it's because I wasn't a dickhead and I made stupid choices that weren't in alignment with my values, and they weren't in alignment with how I wanted to show up. Like, that's going to reflect in the data on the scale, and that's not going to make me feel good. So it's about knowing as well, like, what is going to help your mindset rather than like make you feel defeated. So yeah, I'm just focusing on my habits. I love my routine. I love my quality of life, and I'm just going to continue on. I'm not going to restrict myself because I need to make up for those calories. Like, that again is like one of the worst things that you can do. Today I'm not hungry at all. Like, my hunger signal, like, I'm so full and I'm so uncomfortable and I'm so inflamed. So I have naturally just ate to my hunger signals today, and I've had no cravings, no issues, no food focus. It's been fine. But like, I didn't do that intentionally because I was like, I need to make up for calories. I'm just focusing on how I feel. So yeah, if anyone else is struggling, this is a really long intro, but I know this is something that a lot of females do tend to struggle with, and I have definitely struggled with it ongoingly in the past. I fucking was consumed by it in my last year's reverse phase. Like, this was literally me at least like 2-3 times a week. This was my narrative for 4 months. And it took me a really long time, felt like a really long time at the time, to pull myself back in and actually realign with my values. So just remind yourself, like, what is important to you? How do you want your life to look? How do you want to feel? And focus on those little daily habits that ultimately help you feel like the best version of yourself. And for me, it is structure, it is consistency, but I do, like, my biggest downfall is that I can't be flexible. Like, I have an inability to be flexible and be spontaneous, and that is something that I need to work on. So pick yourself back up, girls, and you have this. Like, we've got this. We're only human, and it happens to all of us. So yeah, you're not alone. And yeah, just take all of this footage that I've put in to my vlog, just knowing that I did totally screw up the end of the day, but that is how on a normal day, like if I wasn't experiencing what I experienced, like those are still the same principles that apply and get me through. So it just happened to fall on a day where I was, yeah. Okay, so to show you guys quickly, this is how I'm prepping my eggs for the morning, because I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking up eggs, making a mess every morning, and again, feeding that food focus. So I just scrambled up all of my eggs with mushroom, onion, seasoning, and then I just bake it in a bake dish on 200 degrees until it's cooked through, slice it up, and then I'm just chucking it on high protein bread with avocado and a side of fruit, so like apple. I'll show you guys my meal prep. So meal prep wise, what I do when I prep for 7 days is I keep half of it in the fridge. So I'd usually do 4 days worth stored in the fridge, and then I do the rest, the other 3 days in the freezer, so that I can make sure that I have some fresh, because sometimes it's just nice to have some fresh rather than all frozen. And Mara singing again in the background. Honestly, we've been listening to Frozen all day today. I'm really obsessed with the Jerry's high protein bread. So this is what I've been having my eggs on. So I'll do like 2 slices of this with a slice of egg, which I cut in half, and the Mingle barbecue sauce and some avo. But I really, really, really love the bread rolls that have like the pumpkin seeds on them. They're just, I don't know why, I just prefer to have those, but they're really hard to find in stores, so I just, these ones. For my meal prep, I have got like turkey mince, broccoli, roast veggies, sweet potato, pumpkin. So again, high fiber, high volume, and I mix the turkey mince with lentils, onion, and taco seasoning. So simple, so easy, doesn't take a lot of prep. And I made Chloe's curry. This is Chloe's curry, so it's the chicken massamam, I think that's how you say it. This did 9 portions. I don't actually have, like, I'm not going to serve it on rice. I'm just going to have it as is. There's loads of sweet potato, low carb potato, veggies and stuff in there as well, but if it's not filling enough, then I might add some mashed or roast pumpkin to it. I'm not sure. I think it like looks pretty dense. It's pretty high protein, like 35 grams of protein per serve. So we'll see how we go. So that's like all my lunches and all my dinners sorted. I might even maybe just buy some like more broccoli or zucchini and just serve it with more veggies, because again, volume. What else do I have? Literally just yogurt. I'm going to go back to having yogurt bowls rather than having sweetie stuff, because that is what sends me as well, is sometimes having things too palatable. And yeah, just keeping it basic. I can't remember what else I've got in there. Fiber boost bars with my coffee, and a yogurt bowl with like nuts and fruit at the end of the day. But I'm just keeping it really simple, and again, trying not to have too many palatable things in there, because again, too much variety, there's just too much room for error, and it really feeds that food focus. So you want to make sure that you've got barriers in place to just prevent you from slipping. Do you know what I mean? It's really easy to get carried away with reintroducing too much fun food or hyper palatable foods, because you're like, oh my god, like so much diversity now, but it can really like shoot yourself in your foot sometimes, because again, it just like feeds that food focus, and it becomes a game of like, how much fun stuff can I fit in at once? It's Friday. What am I making?
Vegetables.
I am. Good job. I am making vegetables, and I'm having a fish for breakfast at 7 a.m. because I'm going to take you guys along for what I eat in the day / navigating eating meals out and juggling goals. I'm too loud. I know it's so stuck to the pan. We're going to do 300 grams of bassa fillet, and I'm going to saute these veggies because there's no rule that breakfast has to be sweet. And I'm going to put coconut hot sauce in it as well. So this is a really high fiber, high protein meal that takes bugger all calories, but it's actually going to keep me feeling fuller for longer, because I really just did not feel like eating egg whites today. whilst I'm waiting for my fish to reheat, thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a rundown. So this week I've actually ate out. I've had a cookie and a coffee out, like a gourmet chunky style cookie, which is in my last vlog. I'm eating out today and we're getting burgers, like big burgers. They'll be like this big. And then tomorrow I'm actually going out for Japanese for lunch. And also Henry brought home those big fat, like chunky New York style cookies as well this week. So there's a lot of food this week that is high calorie, low nutritional value, and it's a lot more than like my normal. I don't normally eat out that much. My thing, as you guys all know, is a coffee and like a cookie, or a coffee and a croissant. That's what I really look forward to in the week. Not really having meals out. I don't normally have like takeaway or go out for a meal that often. So this week is a bit of an unusual week, and I really wanted to show you guys how I balance it, because obviously I'm reverse dieting and I'm really wanting to get the most out of this phase. And with these big foods and eating out, like it can add up so quickly, and you do need to be like pretty mindful and pretty strategic how you approach it. If like you're wanting to stay as lean as possible, you're reverse dieting, or you're in a fat loss phase, like you do need to forward plan, but it doesn't have to be super complicated. I feel like the term balanced these days is like super misleading, and when people think like, oh yeah, you can have balance and achieve your goals, etc., what people tend to sort of think is like, oh, I can have one good meal, one bad meal, one good meal, one bad meal, or like, oh yeah, I can eat out 4 times a week as long as I eat at home, you know, 3 times a week, or I can eat out, 3 or 4 times a week, as long as I eat the rest of my meals at home. But it really just depends on how you're actually tracking and measuring this to keep yourself accountable. Like what is your caloric intake? Because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, if fat loss is the goal, you need to be in the negative energy balance. And if you're wanting to stay as lean as possible, because maybe you've finished a fat loss phase, like you still need to be at your maintenance calories, or building back up to your maintenance calories in that reverse phase, so that you're staying as lean as possible. And there's just too much room for error when you go off by like healthy and unhealthy foods, and yeah, having like one good thing and then one bad thing, it does not work. And that kept me stuck for so many years and frustrated for so many years. So I'm showing you how I do it. So fish for breakfast. I know this might seem really weird, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Super high protein, low calorie, high volume. You want to fill up and front load your protein and your fiber, because this is what creates satiety, is protein plus fiber. And whitefish is a really great option because it's super low fat, which means it's low calorie. I'm pretty sure this whole fillet is like just over 100 calories, and it's like 20 grams of protein. And then obviously the veggies are going to keep me full for a long period of time and just prevent like hunger spikes and cravings. What did you just say? That I eat a lot of food? Do you think I eat a lot of food?
A lot.
Do I eat a lot of vegetables or sometimes foods?
A lot.
A lot of what? Do you know why I eat a lot? To fuel
Your body.
Yeah! I have just prepped some fruit to go on top of my yogurt bowl that I'm going to take in the car with me to have around 10:30 in the morning, when we're going to go into town and get a coffee together. So I'll have my protein Greek yogurt with the fruit. And the reason that I like to, what's the word, like poach the fruit, is that the right word? Saute? I don't know. It's kind of like a thick jam kind of consistency. The reason that I like to do that instead of just having like the frozen berries in there is because I find that when I put frozen berries in the yogurt and it sits in the car for like an hour, the berries melt and then it becomes all like watery and gross, rather than that like thick, yummy Greek yogurt creamy consistency. So you just want to make things a little bit more enjoyable for yourself. You don't want to make yourself super miserable. So if you can make little small tweaks to make those meals a little bit more enjoyable for you, especially when you're on the go, then it's going to make you feel a little bit more satiated again. Now, let's talk. Actually, I want to put this down. I can't find my tripod, which is so annoying. But let's just talk a little bit about pre-planning. So I have forward planned all of the meals that I have had out this week and fit them within my macro budget. So when it comes to eating out and macros, to be honest, in this reverse phase, I'm not being super particular about being so consistent across all of my macros. I'm mainly just prioritizing oh my God, I cannot talk. I'm mainly just prioritizing my protein, my calories, and being pretty moderate about my carbohydrates and my fats, interchanging them. So not going like, I wouldn't go, for example, like 30 grams over my fats. But if I am eating out and it's, a bit of a ordeal to try get everything to fit, then I'll just fall back on my minimum protocols that I set for myself, which is always going to be my calories and my protein target. Try front load your protein to at the start of the day, like I said, so that you're getting those protein requirements in and you're also feeling more satiated leading into the meal. What I do in terms of forward planning, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. One, like look up the menu online and pick the food that you want to have the most and work backwards. So if you're wanting to go out to a nice restaurant and it is like pizza, pasta, garlic bread, all these different dishes that you want to be trying and you don't want to order the healthy option, that's fine. Just put in roughly what you want to have in terms of the ingredients. But if they're like tapas and like Asian fusion type things, what I would say is just allocate a certain budget. When you're eating out, realistically, you're gonna be hitting a minimum of 1,000 calories, like at a minimum, even if it is a relatively healthy food, because you need to account for around 20 mils of oil. You don't know what they're putting in the food. They don't weigh the sauces, etc. So you're better to overestimate than to underestimate. And to be honest, depending on what you're having, I think 1,000 calories is actually pretty moderate. Some meals that are a little bit more filling. And that's the thing as well, is like even 1,000 calories when you're eating at a restaurant, it doesn't feel filling. So you get that feeling of like, oh, I didn't really overeat, I didn't eat that much, but it's because the food is so calorie dense and so low volume that's why you don't feel super full. So just bear that in mind. Always overestimate rather than underestimate, especially if fat loss is the goal, because that one meal that you may be under accounted for can be the reason why you're not seeing a consistent rate of loss, and it gets really frustrating, and then you just get stuck in the cycle of like, I'm doing everything right but I can't lose weight, and I'm eating healthy and I'm making healthier choices on the weekends. Like, it's not about how healthy the food is or the nutritional value of the food as such. It's about the energy balance. So that's where that balance comes from. Are you in an energy deficit? Are you at maintenance? Or are you in a surplus? And that's what is going to determine your rate of loss at the end of the week, or if you're able to maintain a lean physique year round. So always overestimate rather than underestimate. And a really simple principle to follow to structure your meals outside of that meal to accommodate that: protein, plants. So you could have like a chicken salad with a vinaigrette dressing. You could have egg white scramble for breakfast. You could have light cottage cheese with fruit. Like, you really want to think about your fiber and your protein, and reducing carbohydrates and fats is just going to make it easier for you to have those extra calories to budget towards that meal out. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, I forward planned all of my meals so that I actually am still hitting within my protocols. I'm nearly 4 weeks post show now, and I'm only 800 grams up from show week, because I have been so diligent with sticking within my protocols and actually pre-planning these treats. And in the past, I've really let it overwhelm me, and I've just wanted everything all at the same time. So this time, like, I really make a point of like, yeah, sure, you can have like something enjoyable and something high calorie within your day, but you don't need to have 3 things
all within one day and then blow myself over, you know? Like, you can have little things to enjoy each day or a couple of times a week to look forward to. You don't need to have it all at once. It's available to us in abundance. And that scarcity mindset of like, oh my God, I'm so restricted, I can't have everything that I want to eat in one day, like poor me, that is what really like sets you up to fail. Super easy, and then you can just chuck it in your lunchbox and pop it in your bag, and it's easy as. And then if you're worried about it spilling, I'm just going to put the little container in here, and then I just have this little knife and fork kit thing that I keep in my lunch bag, and then I have my little lunch bag that I got from Temu for like $5 or something. Put some napkins in there. It seems like really excessive. This is such a big bag for such a small little thing. Normally I would have more things in there, but gotta have all the room for the burger. Yeah, it's that easy. Like, it's really not that complicated, as what I've said before. Like, it's really not that hard. Plot twist. So the original plan was that we were gonna go on a big hike, have a mooch around town, get a coffee, go for a big hike, and then go get a burger, which we've been looking forward to. But it's pissing it down with rain, so we're probably not going to go for a hike anymore. And also, where we're going to queue, if you know, Frog Burger always has like a really big queue outside. I don't really want to be standing in the rain for 40 minutes. So I've had a change of heart. I am going to pivot, and I'm actually going to go get a souvlaki instead, and it's actually way better because I've banked like 1,000 calories for my burger, with all the like fats and sauces and stuff. And this place that does the souvlaki at the bottom of the Galleria, they don't even use oil. It's just like spray oil, and it's so clean. It's not like really heavy oily ingredients at all. So I've got 1,000 calories spare, and I'm like, that one of those steak souvlaki is going to be around like, I would say 700 calories because they don't use oil, and I might get some chips and share them with Kat, and also that means I also have room for a sweet treat with my coffee today, because I didn't bring any fiber boost bars with me because I was saving it for when I get home tonight, and it means that I can also have maybe some extra vegetables and stuff to bulk up my dinner. So I'm actually really happy about that. I don't even really feel like anything oily or greasy today anyways. I've been feeling like I'm gonna get my period for the last week or so, like that real tight feeling in your belly. Not sure if I will, because I have only gained 800 grams so far in this reverse, and I'm coming into week 4 now. But I mean, like, in terms of my health markers, like my sleep's improving, my energy's amazing, my mood's amazing. So I mean, I feel so different to how I felt this time last year. This time last year, I was so fucked for 4 months. I was so hungry, like I could not regulate my hunger hormones. Whereas this reverse, my food focus has been fine. I'm not hungry. I don't have like cravings and stuff like that, and I'm not sure if that's because I changed the way that I eat or what, but yeah, it's just a completely different experience. So I'm not sure if I will actually get my period or not. When I came out of my last 2 shows, I got my period again around 8 weeks after competing, and I had gained a decent amount of weight. So I'm just not too sure if I just need to sit here a bit longer. Obviously, like I said, my goal is to gain at least 3 kilos and maintain it at least. I just want to do it really slowly so that it's not excess body fat, do you know what I mean? And it gives me time for my eyes to adjust, rather than like gaining heaps of weight real quickly like what I did last time, and just feeling really not myself and not enjoying the process, and it being a really negative experience. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Don't be afraid to pivot. Like, plans can change, and stay true to what you want to do. Like, Kat might still want to get a burger, and I'll come stand in the rain with her, but I've decided, I'm like, yeah, actually I would rather have a souvlaki. And I ate a bag of fun bag lollies in the car on the way here, because I had them in my bag, and I was like, I'll just bring them in case. And because I think I'm getting my period, I just feel real agitated, like not hungry, but just like aggy, you know, when you're like, I just like want to have a little snacky snack. That's how I've been feeling. So I grabbed one out my bag as soon as I made the decision when I was driving that I don't want to have a Ferg anymore. I'm like, cool, I've got extra calories, I'm gonna have a fun day and enjoy it. I got Kat the snake lollies because They're her favourite and she's never tried them. Do you want to do a taste test? Do a taste test. They're quite chewy, like, compared to normal ones.
They're so cute. Okay.
They're quite chewy.
Okay.
But that means that you'll eat it slower, so they'll say you can savour them for longer. I'm going to re-zhush around my MyFitnessPal and see what I can rearrange in here when I change my lunch. And Kat has decided she's going to get tacos, so all sorted. We're going to get a cute coffee first. I don't know where we should go though. I don't know if we should go to the beech tree one or what do you fancy?
Let's go
Like,
the one I haven't been to.
Okay, yeah, let's go to the one you haven't been to. It's actually quite nice just having a wee stroll around the gardens. Coffee, cheers. Me and Kat have matching outfits today. Kat is dying to buy something. She just wants something and anything. We're in Flo and Frankie. So cute. Kat's gone to get tacos. I have got a beef souvlaki with hot chili and hummus, a Coke Zero, and we're going to share some fries. And then we are also going to go get another coffee. We're going to go get a second coffee after this because we didn't enjoy the last coffee. And we are going to have pistachio lentils, which you would have seen in my, or I don't know if it was in my last weekly vlog or this weekly vlog, but pistachio lentils to go with our coffee as like our little sweet treat that's literally 80 calories. Tacos. This is my one, and then we're sharing those, but we don't really eat that many chips.
We eat like 5 each.
We eat like 5 each, but yum, yum. This is it. She tastes very healthy. There's like no oil. We have our pistachio balls. This looks so much better. And we got our little chockies. Cheers. Okay, Kat's gonna do a taste test. It's good, eh? Did you think it was gonna be chewy, like go on the inside?
Yeah, I don't know what I thought. It's good though.
Oh, it's really good, eh?
Not too sweet.
No. This is my dinner. This is the sriracha I use. It's the best sriracha. But it's pretty much the same as my breakfast, just half of a fillet of fish, and then I'm making my Ninja Creamy, which I'll show you after. Interesting story for you. While I was out on my walk 5 minutes ago, one of my dogs decided to run into the bush. He's looking at me because he knows. He ran into the bush, and I heard this like screaming because he caught a rat and it was alive and it was like dangling out its mouth, screaming with its little legs kicking. And then he just looked at me and he ran off. So that was slightly traumatic. Is the Ninja Creamy, and I want to put a date in there. It's my hot husband. Ta-da! It didn't really blend up the dates, so that's cool, but